Hello everybody, NinjoX the Enlightened Gamer here. Welcome to part 2 of 3 of the Enlightened Vlog finale. If you didn't see the last vlog, I would strongly encourage you to watch it. Not only because it, I think, covers a very important issue in gaming and in culture as a whole, but because nobody watched it. I can't say I'm surprised. There's a reason that Enlightened Vlogs is ending. And the main reason is that it's not succeeding. Today, though, I want to talk to you about a specific game that has been systematically destroyed by unilateral mentality and unilateral perception. For those few of you who are too stubborn to go back and watch the last vlog, unilateral mentality means one-minded thinking. It means that you think in only one way. A political lefty or righty would be an example of a unilateral mentalist. Also, anyone who's racist or sexist would have unilateral thinking or unilateral mentality, harming their cultural life. Women are all scrawny and weak and they're only good for cooking. And another activity that I'm not going to mention because this is a show that goes out to kids. If you can tell from my shirt, today I'm going to talk about the Sonic franchise. Something that I haven't touched on here on the channel yet. Growing up, I grew up a Nintendo kid. I had a Super Nintendo and a Nintendo 64 growing up, and I didn't get to experience Sega's content outside of the Game Gear, which my grandmother owned a couple of. I have a gamer grandma who's just awesome. That I didn't get to experience Sonic until well after the Genesis was done. In fact, I first experienced Sonic 1 and 2 on the Sega Nomad. Portable battery gobbling system with a mediocre at best D-pad, similar to the one on the Xbox 360 controller, but even worse. So what is it that's destroyed Sonic games in the public eye? Unilateral mentality and unilateral perception. What is it you always hear people say when they're playing a Sonic game on YouTube or reviewing a Sonic game on YouTube? Gotta go fast. Let me tell you the actual story about how Sonic the Hedgehog came to be. Forgive me because I don't know any of the names of the Japanese developers behind Sonic the Hedgehog, because this is a vlog and I didn't do a ton of research going in. I'm relying mostly off of memory, so if I misplace a few facts, roll with it. Sonic the Hedgehog was created conceptually from an idea whenever the then president of Sega Enterprises was him and his co-workers having fun racing through World 1-1 on Super Mario Brothers. They found that it was a lot of fun and a lot of excitement to play through a game as fast as they could. Something speedrunners have perfected to a poison. So, what we have is a game designed around the concept of speed. Does that mean you should always go fast? No! Even if you go back to Sonic 1, you can see the mentality. The design was not based purely around speed, but around the idea of the implementation of speed. Speed not only as a power-up, as something to make you stronger, but speed as a hazard. Meaning that the player has access to this speed, but must exercise patience in order to get past certain areas. The first such area being Marble Hill Zone, the second world of the original Sonic the Hedgehog, where there are long, expansive rivers of lava that you must slowly drift across. If you go too fast, you're not going to make it through the end of the level. You have to wait, and then take advantage of your speed when you have open space. So how did this translate to 3D Sonic? I'll skip over the inclusion of Knuckles and Tails because they still give you the option of speed with also the option of mobility. So how did this incorporate into the 3D games? Well, we have to look back at the first 3D Sonic game to know. Sonic 3D Blast for Genesis and Saturn. I don't know much about the Saturn version because I've only ever played the Genesis version, so I'm going to primarily be using that as an example. Everybody has their preference in this regard, at least as far as Sonic fans go. And I'm not talking about the people who deliberately take apart Sonic. What you have in Sonic 3D Blast is an adventure. It ceases to be an action platformer, something like Mario and unlike Zelda, and becomes something more akin to The Legend of Zelda, with platforming elements still instilled. And in that regard, it's really fascinating. Early 3D Sonics are like a merge between action platformers and 3D and top-down adventure games. Now, many people turn their backs on this game because it didn't handle well on the Genesis, and the Saturn just didn't work very well as a console. But oddly enough, on the Nomad, 3D Blast works perfectly with that deformed directional pad. You can't fly through 3D Blast. You can't do it because you have to hunt for the flickies, the collectible of the game, and then you have to keep them safe on the way to the objective, encouraging the player to take it slow, think about what they're doing, and only use speed when it's optimal. Which is what Sonic has always been about. If you play any Sonic game with reckless abandon, you will be punished. And the idea that only 3D Sonic games are glitchy is an absolute idiocy. It's just wrong. It's just wrong. If you go back and play the original Sonic, or Sonic 2, or Sonic 3, or Sonic and Knuckles, you'll find glitches. For that matter, if you play any game, you'll find a lot of glitches. Perhaps the 2D Sonics did have a heightened level of polish over the 3D ones, mainly because Sega was in better standing when they were made. But this unilateral gotta-go-fast mentality has nearly destroyed the Blue Blur. The games have pretty much stayed the same ever since Adventure. Hilariously bad voice acting to the occasionally acceptable, moderately good voice acting that's wonderful. Praised in games like Resident Evil. High-octane speeds that are only needed to be used when it's appropriate. And big bosses that don't go down too hard. Those are the staples of the 3D Sonic games. And they all have those staples, and I mean all of them. Even the black sheep of the Sonic franchises, of the Sonic franchise. Sheep is a plural and a singular, Ninjo. Get it through your head. So next time you're playing one of the Blue Blurs games, put down your unilateral mentality, game deep, and just try to enjoy yourself. Take the time to smell the roses, to explore the areas that you're going through. And more importantly, try to enjoy yourself. Try not to just take everything apart all the time because I'm not going fast enough. We've got one more game to discuss on Enlightened Vlogs, then I'll close the book forever. But until then, I hope you will game deep and stay enlightened.